Welcome back, my curious friends. Yes, here we are finally here. The long-awaited book titled Finding Freedom about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. It's supposed to give us a glimpse into the lives of the Sussexes and answers many burning questions that people have about what exactly happened between them and the rest of the royal family. Did Meghan truly cut Harry off from his friends? Was she really the cause of the fight between the two brothers? What were the Markles' relations with her sister-in-law Kate like? And does the royal family have anything to be scared of? Stay with me as we finally answer the questions that you all have had about the couple. So don't forget to turn on the notifications and subscribe to our channel, and let us begin. The authors of the book Finding Freedom, Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand, have claimed from the start that the royal couple had nothing to do with it. They said that they only interviewed their close friends, past and present royal aides and palace staff, the charities of the organizations of the couple had built long-lasting relationships with, though many speculate that since the book contains deep personal texts, feelings, and accounts, there is no way the couple was not involved. If they didn't speak with the two writers themselves, then it is likely that they may have been given permission to their close friends to share the information. And since they always stress their desire for privacy, it's unlikely the friend would share such information without permission. However, there have been instances where that has not always been the case, so if you want to know more, click on the link above. The book details many things as early as Harry and Meghan's first date, and it was revealed that it took place at the Dean Street townhouse in Soho, London. A source told the authors that the couple chatted over drinks for nearly 3 hours, and that the following night they returned to the same place for dinner, sneaking in through the staff entrance, and that they requested to be waited on by one person to keep their privacy. A friend said that even back then, Harry knew they would end up together as she was ticking every single box. Oh, and fun little fact, after their date, Meghan began following an account on Instagram called Spiky Moss, the S being replaced with the number 5, and as it turns out, that was Princess Harry's secret social media page. He created the account so he would be able to follow his girlfriend. The nickname was a combination of his nickname Spike and the name of his favorite DJ, Deadmau5. So who knew the Duke of Sussex was into electronic music? As you might remember, on the day that Harry and Meghan announced their engagement, he told the press that he knew she would be the one from the very first time that they met, and the book does back this up. But it also describes how the young prince pushed people away, including his own brother Prince William, when he felt they were questioning their relationship, and be sure to stay with me to find out exactly what went down between the two princes. The book claims that the royal was very sensitive to the even slightest hints of prejudice, and that he had fallouts within his own tight circle of friends. When people questioned the nature of their relationship, Harry often wondered whether it was about race or if it was just snobbery. These remarks bothered the prince so much that he reportedly cut off contact with an old friend after he learned that he was making disparaging remarks about Meghan and her Hollywood background. And according to the book, Harry's childhood friend Tom Skippy Inskip confronted him in April of 2017, saying that he believed the prince was rushing into things with his relationship and that he should be careful. And this naturally hurt the Duke's feelings, and the two didn't speak for a long time. Though Skippy was invited to Harry and Meghan's wedding ceremony and their official afternoon reception, he was left off the list of star-studded evening wedding party. Ouch. And since the celebrity guest list included the likes of George Clooney, Idris Elba, the Beckhams, Elton John, and James Corden, I'm just going to make that a double ouch. Speaking of weddings, Prince Harry and Meghan might have rubbed a certain royal up the wrong way after they tried to take the spotlight during her special day. And while they officially announced the pregnancy to the public on October 15, 2018, they had actually already shared the happy news with the royal family a few days earlier at Princess Eugene's wedding to Jack Brooksbank. I mean, what better way to get all the family together in one place than at a wedding, right? And as you would imagine, that didn't go down well with the princess. And a source told the two authors that Prince Andrew's daughter felt the couple could have waited to share the news. We all very well know the troubles between Meghan and her father Thomas, and the book does go into great detail about it and as well as in it, and now it says 2 years after the wedding, the Duchess no longer recognizes him as the man who raised her. It also adds when Archie was born, her mother Doria texted her ex-husband with the news, and as Meghan did not want him to find out from the press, but it also added that the new mother didn't want to know whether he had replied to the text or not. And if you want to know more about her relationship with her father, then check out the video above. The authors also touch upon the relationship that the Duchess has with her half-siblings, all of whom, according to the book, were paid by the tabloids for negative comments and interviews before and after the royal wedding. It also mentions how Good Morning Britain even flew in the ex-wife of her half-brother, who she even barely knew. Scobie and Durant state that it didn't matter whether those statements were true or not. The public and press were just that hungry for any information about Meghan, so the tone or the motive for the comment didn't really matter to them. And since the Duchess had such an estranged relationship with her father, it is heartwarming to see in the book that Prince Charles has stepped into the role of both figuratively and physically, like when he was the one to walk her down the aisle. Meghan's close friend told the biographers that she had found such a supportive and loving father in Charles, which was really changing her life and for the better, and also added that Meghan saw him not as a father-in-law but more as a second father. And I'm sure you will be happy to find that the feelings are mutual. A close friend of Charles said that the Prince of Wales has taken a real shine to Meghan. She's a sassy, confident, beautiful American. He likes very strong, confident women. She's bright and she's self-aware, and I can see why they've struck up such a very quick friendship. They also add that, like her husband, Camilla is also very fond of her daughter-in-law. Maybe the reason is that she sees a lot of herself in the young woman, as she too was hated by the press. Prince Charles is very fond of theater and the arts, so the fact that Meghan was a former actress has definitely helped with their relations. Another source said that Prince of Wales has also always been fond of people from the arts, like Emma Thompson, for example, who he has been friends with for many years. But the most important thing to him is that the most beloved youngest son is happy. So we can see that his father is very fond of her, but what about Harry's older brother William? Stay with me to find out. And here we arrive at the part of the famed royal rift between the two brothers. And if you want to know more details surrounding it, then be sure to click on the link above. The book states that the tension between the two started at the very beginning when Harry and Meghan had just started dating. William had given his younger brother some advice by saying, take as much time as you need to get to know this girl. And that didn't sit well with the younger prince. He interpreted his brother's words, especially the words "this girl," as the snobbish and condescending way. A friend revealed that while the Duke of Cambridge was trying to give his younger brother some brotherly advice, Harry was angry as he felt he was being treated as if he was immature. In the book, we also find out that by the time the Sussexes left the United Kingdom for good in March, the two brothers were barely speaking, and that their last awkward appearance together was at the Commonwealth Day ceremony at Westminster Abbey. Reports said that the Cambridges were barely even looking at Harry and William, let alone greeting them. So finally, we get to the bottom of this entire guessing game with what was going on between the two, and since Harry and Meghan have not said anything against the book, could this mean that everything is true? The book also adds that the two have since begun talking again via video calls during their pandemics. And while the two are always there for each other, it is clear that they both have different life paths ahead of them. And what about the reported war going on between Meghan and Kate? Well, according to Finding Freedom, there is no war, and the book states that the two are not the best of friends, but they aren't also at each other's throats. They add that the relationship didn't really progress much in the past and in distant politeness of when they first met, but reportedly Kate was indifferent when it came to meeting her brother-in-law's new girlfriend. Though, as the book explains, it's because the Duchess is a very wary person and she's very careful who she lets into her inner circle. Though you'd think that after knowing each other for a few years, especially once Meghan and Harry got married, that their relationship would somehow improve, right? But as you can see, the answer is no. The book also stated that the tabloid story about Markle making Kate cry during Princess Charlotte's bridesmaids' dress fittings was not true. And speaking of royal children, Harry and Meghan were a little bit unfortunate with their nanny. After the Duchess' mother returned to LA, a month after little Archie was born, the new parents hired a night nanny to help care for him. However, they were forced to fire her during her second shift for being unprofessional and irresponsible. The book doesn't go into any other detail as to what transpired that caused them to make this decision. The book also adds that they hired a second night nurse who did a fine job, but after the unpleasant experience with the first nanny, neither the prince nor the Duchess felt comfortable enough sleeping without waking up to go and check on their son regularly, so after a few weeks they made the decision to take on the night duty themselves and just hire someone to help them during the day. And speaking of the royal couple's son, we also find out that although Meghan gave birth in a London hospital, at the start she considered a home birth. A source told the authors that despite her initial idea, it was a good idea that she went to the hospital as the closer due date approached, and she was even more nervous than Meghan was. And we also found out that the couple knew from the very beginning that they were having a son and decided to name him a long time ago. The reason that the public had to wait 2 days to find out the boy's name? Because it was important to the couple that they told the Queen themselves. Seeing that the two seem to have such a good and close bond with the Queen, the book also puts the tabloid rumors about Meghan throwing a hissy fit about not being able to wear a specific tiara to rest. However, there was some drama regarding the accessory, but it featured Harry. At first, the UK newspapers had reported that the Queen had rejected her choice of a tiara, but in reality there was no disagreement between the Queen and her grandson's wife. The conflict was between Harry and the longtime royal dresser Angela Kelly, as the prince felt that she was dragging her feet in helping his bride obtain access to her chosen tiara. And with all the drama surrounding the book and its contents, we also learned a few funny anecdotes. For example, the royal family does not exchange Christmas gifts, but they do it on December 24th to honor the Windsor's family German roots. And while adult members don't gift each other with expensive presents, the book gave us some insight into what kind of stuff they do get and give. And it was said that in the past, Harry has reportedly given his grandmother a shower cap with the phrase, "Ain't life a which she actually loved. And it's good to see that even the most regal family can have such a good sense of humor. Now, my curious friends, what do y'all think about this? Do you think that anything in the book can compromise the royal family and damage their reputation? How accurate is this information? And is the silence of the Sussexes a sign that everything is correct? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.